Hello, I'm Rene from the MarketPress team. This tutorial is about the registration of the customer in the B2B Market customer group. You can find the activation of the option Registration for B2B Market in the category Add-ons. If the option Registration for B2B Market is not activated in the category Add-ons, the customer cannot register by himself for a B2B Market customer group. You can, however, assign customers to a customer group in WordPress via the Users menu, or create new users and then assign the respective customer group. When the activation is successful, a new menu item appears with the name Registration. In this area, all customer groups are listed. Additionally, there is the option to activate the double opt-in option for the registration process, and there is the possibility to hide the label for customer groups. With the sliders, you can activate or deactivate the registration option for individual customer groups. If a customer group is activated for the registration, the customer gets the possibility to register for a customer group in the front end on the page My Account, or also in the checkout area. In the WooCommerce settings, in the Accounts and Privacy section, you can set where registration is allowed. If you activate the option Allow customers to create an account on the page My Account, the customer can register on the page My Account. If you activate the option Allow customers to create an account during the payment process, the customer can also register during checkout. You can activate either one or both of these options. The other options in this section will later affect the username and password given during registration of B2B Market. If the settings are correct, the customer can either register via the page My Account or in the checkout area for the respective customer group. If the VAT identification validation is activated in the text settings of a customer group, a field for the verification of the VAT identification number, and optionally an input field for the company registration number will appear during the registration of the respective group. The VAT identification is then validated in two steps. First, an API request is sent to the Federal Central Tax Office to check whether it is a registered VAT identification number. If the server of the federal office cannot be reached, a solution with PHP ensures that the VAT identification number is checked accordingly. If the double opt-in procedure is activated in the B2B registration settings, the customer can only complete his registration after confirming his email, which is automatically sent to him after registration. The last option, Hide Label for Customer Group, hides the label Optional Customer Group. This is useful, for example, if there is only one customer group to use. It may well be the case that a verification of the customer is necessary before his activation. Then it makes sense to create a second customer group for the registration process, which, however, does not yet include any discounts. For this example, I call the customer group Wholesaler Registration. So I have two customer groups for the same customer. The customer group Wholesaler has all discounts for the wholesaler. The customer group Wholesaler Registration is for registration only and does not contain any discounts. I have opened the Wholesaler Registration customer group for registration, but not the customer group Wholesalers. If a customer registers in the customer group Wholesaler Registration, I can easily transfer the customer to the customer group Wholesalers after the successful verification. If the customer is not authorized as a wholesaler, he cannot receive any discounts in the shop without my approval. By installing an additional plugin such as Members, it is also possible to assign several customer groups to one customer, for example with regard to additional bonus programs. B2B Market will then always apply the best price for the customer. Now I wish you much success in setting up the function registration in B2B Market.